The term zero carbon emission refers to achieving a balance between the amount of greenhouse gas released and removed. The emissions will continue, but they will be offset by processes that reduce greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Energy plays a significant role in the generation of economic activity. As a result, higher economic growth, which necessitates extensive energy consumption, has resulted in increased CO2 emissions and environmental damage. Continuous urban growth has resulted in people's lifestyles changing and their living standards improving, which has significantly increased energy consumption.
A large body of previous research used the impact, population, affluence, and technology model to investigate the impact of energy consumption on CO2 emissions. CO2 emissions are used as a proxy for the impact on environmental degradation. Because they account for most of the environmental degradation, energy consumption is used as a proxy for technology, and gross domestic product per capita is used as a proxy for affluence.
Why it is important. The most recent Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report is regarded as a red flag for humanity. The most important point in the reports is that carbon emissions must be reduced as soon as possible in order to avoid catastrophic warming. Changes made today will have a long-term impact, and some actions taken today will make things better than they would be otherwise.
There is very little chance of avoiding the natural catastrophe. The only way to combat it is to reduce emissions immediately, deeply, and sustainably. The effects of climate change are far-reaching, and the worst is yet to come. It is critical to consider every option in order to reduce the severity of the situation.
The European Union, Japan, and the Republic of Korea, along with over 110 other countries, have pledged to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. China has stated that it will do so before 2060.
These are some of the key solutions that we can apply to our life to achieve net zero carbon emission.
Individually, we are all responsible for changing our habits and living in a more sustainable and environmentally friendly manner. However, the primary driving force for change will come from national governments, such as through legislation and regulations to reduce emissions. Many governments are now taking the right steps. Countries representing more than 65% of global carbon dioxide emissions, and more than 70% of global GDP will have made ambitious commitments to carbon neutrality by early 2021.
Is net zero carbon realistic? Absolutely. It would be prohibitively expensive or disruptive to eliminate some sources of emissions entirely. By taking the right steps and setting proper long-term target, achieving zero net carbon emission is highly feasible. And that all from our group. Thank you for your time.